call that radio. You call that radio TV. Below. You call that radio TV.
We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us and people of conscience to lose our morale.
You call that radio.
Tucking on my heels, and it says, bust up a bar garage. A kender and tan and dash. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening, and welcome to You Call That Radio TV. We got Sonnet Youth in the house, Kat and Kev. He'll be in a little minute. How's everyone doing? He's okay? He's well? I hope so. This week we have... Tomorrow, Nobody is a Poet in November. Which is... it's a really funny story, actually. It's a really funny story about how we came up with that. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. The wee mad poet Aldo will tell you about it, actually. He tells it better than I can. Susie Briggs, Francis Rafferty, Ross Wilcock, Gordon Powrie, and special guests. Saturday, we've got Joe Jive and the Beehive 5 live from Brooklyn. Friday, Gyro Babies Unplugged. Thursday, Blackbird and Crow, the Donegal Duo. Amazing band. They do a bit of beautiful soundscapes and a bit of punky Celtic folk blues in there as well. Wednesday, Robin Wynne Evans. He's worked with the Manic Street Preachers, The View, Dodgy, and even the Twistettes. An absolute legend of Teapot Studios. We'll have him on the show on Wednesday. Tonight, it's Sonnet Youth. So, yeah, let's just give them a round of applause and welcome them. Kat Hepburn and Kevin Gilday.
You call that radio.
Here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow.
You call that radio.
However you want to say it.
You call that radio.
You call that radio.
However you want to say it, that's kind of part of the fun.
Powered by our patrons.
Brothers and sisters.
We are indeed powered by our patrons. Just a wee shout out to everyone supporting the show, especially the newest patrons who are Charlotte, Bob, Tracy, Ross, Anna and Ian, who are our November patrons. Thank you for supporting that. This wouldn't be possible without you. And if you're watching this on Facebook, don't. I know you probably... I think we're on the Sonnet Youth Facebook. I think we're on the Poetry and Spoken Word group as well. But if you're watching this Facebook, it makes more sense to go to YouTube. It sounds better, it looks better. Hit the subscribe button. And that's where you'll find most of the shows from this year. I think we're running about 150 shows since lockdown began. Most of them are on YouTube. Not all of them. Some of them get taken down for copyright or people doing cheeky behaviour. Some of them are taken down for cheeky behaviour. Some of them are taken down for copyright. And some of them weren't even on the You Call That Radio YouTube channel. Go to YouTube though, that's where most of them are. And also welcome to the Twitch people. I've been told that I have to welcome the people who aren't watching it live. You know, the people that are watching the repeats. Now, for some reason, apparently that's good customer service. Apparently that's going to make you all feel a lot more welcome. So welcome if you're not live. Welcome if you are live as well though, obviously. I just assumed that I was welcoming to the people that are watching it on the repeat. I assumed that you knew that I was welcoming. I'm welcoming you both live people and people watching it on repeat. Have I made that clear? I hope so. We're going to go live to Kevin P. Gilday. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mark. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well. Kat Hepburn, can you hear me?
Yes, mic check.
Yes, amazing. Well, you're both experienced. You're are been on, you call that radio before, as single entities. But tonight, you're here with Sonnet Youth, on a Sonnet Youth vibe. And, well, maybe could we just start with Kat? What is Sonnet Youth?
It's usually Kev who says what Sonnet Youth is.
It's Kev, we'll start with Kev.
Right.
Start with Kev.
This is my one fucking bit, Mark.
Is this your one bit?
This
Okay,
is my
Kev.
one bit. Right, here we go. Sonnet Youth is a spoken word house party. It's a literary rave. It's a poetic piss up, bringing together poets, authors, musicians, comedians for a night of no holds barred entertainment. There we go.
Are you reading for your screen or have you memorised that?
I memorised that.
Fuck. See, that's the thing about it. The advent of the Zoom poet, you never really know if it's been memorised or not. Which is I should actually be taking advantage of that and doing new material, because I suppose you don't really know.
We
You
are
don't have
not
to memorise it. And memorising it's always been, that's kind of puts me off doing new stuff. But at the same time, people just read it off pages as well. Why have I got a problem with that? Why should I have a problem with that? Is it I think it's because I've got bad handwriting, and that's the main thing. And I think if you don't memorise it, you're cheating a wee bit. But that's all in my... Is that all in my head, Kat?
Yeah, I think you should just type it. Well, I would always type it out, and then if I could be bothered, I would put it into a notepad with like sellotape. But I would never handwrite it out. I think that's giving yourself too much work, Mark. I would just...
But the thing is, you're thinking it from the point of view of typing up on a computer and then writing it in a notepad. No, but I write on the notepad. See, I don't...
You're
I
old
don't write on a
school.
computer. I'm old. I'm old
Yeah.
in general. I just don't... don't get me wrong, I have... recently, in the last couple of years, I have... what I do is once I finish something, I maybe transfer it onto a computer just to see how it looks. And then I find that's quite good for the final editing side of things. But so in general, I do edit quite a lot on the computer now. But the actual act of, having the creative moment or just having an idea, I just seems to be more comfortable writing for some reason. It's almost like a ghost poet is a ghost is writing my hand for me. Does that make sense, Kevin?
Yeah, I was reading that great article with David Keenan the other day, and he was talking about how he doesn't remember writing his new book because he was just possessed. Do you know what I mean? Just like a voice possessed him, and he just wrote it down. And at the end of it, he was like, "Oh, I've written a whole novel." I don't know if I completely believe him, but I kind of like that as an idea. And I know what you mean. It's like you can't really get possessed as much when you're, tapping away at a keyboard. You need
But that's just maybe just because I'm not naturally brilliant at typing fast. I'm sure there's lots of people who can type just as fast as the ghost can think. What about yourself, Kat? Can you type as fast as the ghost?
Yeah, I can type as fast as the ghost can think. I'm like a basic bitch millennial, so like I write most of my poems just like on my phone, like I'm texting someone. So yeah, and then I kind of edit them on my computer. But a lot of the time, I'm just writing. I rarely just sit down and go, right, I need to write a poem about X, Y, Z. It often just like comes to me in drips and drabs, the ghost, and then I'll put it on my phone and then I'll transfer it to a computer. But I think you just got to work with what the ghost is telling you. You
the
do
drabby
you.
ghost. The
Yeah.
drabby ghost. Like the idea of a drabby ghost. We've got some comments coming in already. We have, it's Jim Monins talking about, what's he talking about? People who are watching it on Dave in 2026. Correct, this will be on Dave. Yes, hello to all our new viewers who are watching it on Dave in 2026. I don't want them to feel left out as well. I don't know if you've heard this before, but apparently it was one of those do's and don'ts things of live streaming. And it says you must always welcome the people who are watching it on repeat. But you don't want to welcome them too much, that means that they won't watch it live. Alan Rorison's in the house. Hello, Alan. Petra's in the house. Hello, Petra. The Sama Awards. Official Sama. Well, what do you know? That's the first time.
They won't leave
We've
me
ever-
alone.
What do you get award ceremonies tuning into you often?
Not really, no.
No, it's the first time this has ever
Yeah.
happened. Normally, the award ceremony is usually just saying, stop contacting me. Stephen Watt, sorry, handwriting all the way makes it feel more you. It just does. It just helps for me. And Jim, I believe him. Keenan is a devil, proper possessed. Says Jim. So right, Sonnet Youth is a night where people go, and there's usually lots of poetry. There's usually a bit of music, a bit of comedy, maybe an author reading. It's just an eclectic mix of artistry and everyone. A poetic piss up, as you said. It was a piss up in a brewery, literally at the start at Drygate. Then COVID doesn't care about that, though. COVID doesn't care about Sonnet Youth, despite it is a good night. It's critically acclaimed nights, award-winning nights, but yet the virus didn't care about that, and it got you shut down. So what did you do, Kat? What did you do?
Yeah, I mean, we were shut down for about a week, and then we went digital and just started producing live streamed shows. So we did one every 2 weeks since the beginning of lockdown. We've taken 1 or 2 breaks here and there and given ourselves like a couple of weeks off. But yeah, we've pretty much been quite consistent with it. And yeah, now we've got funding for season 5. That's just going to be the next block of shows, is going to be in this kind of online digital cyberspace.
And yeah, so what does that look like? What does the season 5 of Sonnet Youth look like?
So we have 2 shows coming out a month. We just started a Patreon, which you'll know all about. We sort of like spoke for ages about what kind of medium we wanted to put it on, and we decided Patreon was the best for us and for our audiences. And yeah, so there's 2 shows coming out a month, and you can subscribe monthly. So for a $5, you get 2 shows. Each show has 4 amazing artists, and we're also going to be putting out like a bonus podcast and behind the scenes exclusive content. So it's, instead of the live show in a venue, it's on your smart telly or computer screen, which is kind of the next best thing given like current global circumstances. Kevin,
tell us about the cyberspace.
Yeah, it's been really nice actually. Like, I love the buzz of doing the live Sonnet Youth shows, but the minute we couldn't go to the venues anymore, I was like, we still wanted to be showcasing these artists. I mean, we still want to be putting on the best poets and best musicians. So it's the same idea, just putting these people who we think are mega talented, but might not have been on the same bill before. So a poet who's amazing, a comedian who's amazing, a musician that's amazing, all these people who are in their own wee scenes but don't really mix with each other, and suddenly we put them all on one bill, and you get to see it all kind of play out in front of you live. And it's really amazing, the wee connections that get made between all the different art forms and all these amazing artists that we have on.
And tell us a bit about the funding. How does the funding work in the digital age?
Yeah, well,
because obviously I understand that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, I'm not an expert in funding. I don't get funding, but I understand that it was like if you sell a ticket for £5, Creative Scotland would double that or something along those lines. So how does it work in a digital age?
You can do it that way. Like sometimes people have funding that's worked out that way. Most of the time when we've had it before, you say, right, this is going to cost this much to do this project, and this much we'll make through ticket sales, and this much it will make through people helping us out, organisations, venues. So the bit that's left, you're asking for the government to give you that. You're asking for Creative Scotland to give you that. And now the difference is that, you can't sell tickets at the door. You can't go on to see tickets or Ticketmaster or whatever and buy your tickets there. So how is it you monetize this? How do you make a bit of money while sharing amazing art and getting people to appreciate it? So for us, Patreon felt like the right move in terms of we can keep it really cheap, really accessible. I think a £5 a month's like pretty good. It's a bargain, I think, for everything you're getting. But also still means there's a bit of money coming in, so we can make up that shortfall while having the money there to pay the artists and make sure everybody's getting paid fairly and getting industry standard rates. So yeah, it's win-win just now.
So Patreon, so Creative Scotland doubles the Patreons, basically?
No, Creative Scotland gives us a certain amount of money that we've worked out. I actually remember the last time I was on this show, you were asking me about Creative Scotland, and I'm like, I'm not the beacon of knowledge on it, especially like spreadsheets and finance and all that. But yeah, we have asked for a certain amount of money, and we have committed to making a certain amount of money. So if we don't, we'll make a loss. If we don't meet our projected figures, to use financial jargon.
Yeah, that's why I ask you, because that still sounds a bit more than what I know. It's a wee bit I don't really understand. I don't understand. It seems good though. It's good that they are funding you. It doesn't sound good that you could make a loss though. That sounds terrifying.
It's a risk. It's a risk with everything though, and I think the main thing that Creative Scotland told us before they gave us the funding was they were going to prioritise.
Don't fuck up. Don't fuck this up. Is that what they say? Just there's some money, but don't fuck this up.
They were like, they were going to give priority to people's projects that didn't involve risk of like death or like catching, like spreading the virus. So this is technically quite a safe like project because we're having no human contact in it. I mean, like there's other dangerous things that come up with that, like, you know, people's mental health and all that. But yeah, I think we made sure that we were following what they were looking for, because they were looking for things that were digital. So rather than being like, oh, we hope the virus will be away by a certain point, we're just like accepting that it's here, that we're going to be in and out of lockdown, and that we can still consistently provide a good show throughout the ups and downs of other kind of life that's going on.
Well, that's the thing. I was talking to someone earlier on, was trying to book my band for a gig, and there's been a few the last week or so, I think, maybe with the news of the vaccine, that people are starting to think that maybe spring will be okay. But I mean, it looks like vulnerable. Say, for example, it is going, all vaccinations happen and stuff. It's going to be the vulnerable people first, I would assume. So I think, if anything, I don't think festivals are going to be happening, or maybe socially distanced gigs. But it's going to be winter, I would imagine. So there's maybe not much point in booking too much stuff. I mean, I feel really sorry for there's bands out there that have just keep postponing, and they have been postponing, you know, for 2 months every day since. And weddings, I know people getting married that keep on postponing their wedding for 2 months, and it almost feels like, why don't we just
break up?
Well, it's a sign. It's a sign from the universe that this shouldn't happen.
Just leave it.
I'm only joking. I know that some people are probably tuned in just now that are about to get married. We're having a wee joke. I'm sure your wedding will be worth the wait, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be the best wedding ever. I got
FaceTimed into a wedding a couple of weeks ago, and it was pretty much the same. I spent less money, so than I would have.
So wait, you were in the audience, or were you performing a poem?
Both, yeah. I was a bridesmaid.
A FaceTime bridesmaid.
Yeah.
What? See, these are just phrases that we take for granted now. Oh, I was a FaceTime bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
days.
I would have much rather be there. I actually think the bride might be watching. I mean, I'm being glib. I was fucking gutted I couldn't make it. But at the same time, like, technology is just so good, because it's like, I was able to still see the ceremony. I was able to still perform. There was a bit of like technical hiccups, but I mean, it's just like a normal gig. But yeah, I got to see her in her dress. I got to see her get married. I couldn't be there, but I was kind of there. I was sort of half there.
You were there, and I would assume that there's going to be there'll be a normal gathering once it's allowed to be. I mean, that's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking to a couple of my friends that have been in this situation. It's like, I know that some might be trying to get married for legal reasons, like because they've got kids or whatever, and there's legal reasons to get married. So maybe they should just get married in a registry office, get the legal paperwork done, and then have a big wedding once you're allowed to have a wedding.
Yeah.
And it's the same goes. I know there's lots of big important birthdays people have missed. I know that there's even funerals as well. There's going to be a lot of funeral gatherings where people will be wanting to meet up, and there's going to be a lot of parties in 2021, I think. I hope, anyway. We've got Monday Nicure says, right, I'm off as you've welcomed us too much. This is what I worry about. I try to be welcoming, but you don't want to be too welcoming. Do you ever get that? Kev, do you, when you're hosting something?
I try not to be welcoming at all. I try to kind of keep people on their toes and make it feel like it's quite a threatening atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? I think that kind of works best for me in terms of just bringing a bit of excitement to people's lives. Do you know what I mean? Am I supposed to be here? Is this the right place? That kind of a deal.
£5 a month is a steal for 2 shows. It really is, and
Like you, Crawford.
It's incredible. I think Patreon as well is a brilliant way to go, because I don't know what I'd be doing without Patreon. It's saved,
How have you found it, Mark?
It's been great. It's saved my year. It's the only income I get, full stop right now. So it's I mean, it could be good to have a few more Patrons when they go amiss. My goal is 200. That's the goal I've set myself for the end of the year. That would mean that I would just be in a sort of comfortable, reasonable place. I'm at 177, which is the record. You lose some every month as well. That's what I need to prepare you for in the Patreon world, is that you build up to this number and then one month you go lower and you're like, what? I thought it goes up the way. Now, of course, obviously some people's circumstances change, so people have to drop out from time to time. So we kind of sort of 177, getting to 200. If we get to 200, we're going to do a big Christmas all day special to celebrate. But I love the idea of it. The fact that people choose what they want. It's the same with Bandcamp when it brought out the pay what you want downloads. That made a massive difference, because I'm a firm believer that people should be able to enjoy things for free. If they're skin, I don't want to exclude people that are skin. I don't want to be putting paywalls up. But at the same time, it costs so much time and effort to put these shows together. I'm doing it almost every day. The show's almost every day, but there's also the booking, the promotion, the editing side of things as well. So it's a full-time job, more than a full-time job. So there needs to be some kind of money coming in order to cover bills. And it's getting there. So people get to choose if they want to support the show. And I like the idea of that, because it means that everyone that is putting in money is doing it because out of love for what's happening. So I totally love the idea of it. Marie says, mine is it Marie? You got married?
She's the bride. That's the bride.
Happy marriage and wedding, Marie. I hope that you got the legal paperwork's all good and all that. I don't know if we were getting married for legal reasons or for love or just lack of patience. Just running out of patience.
She just wanted something to do, to be honest.
Well, do you know, there was a story that apparently, because I think in England you're allowed up to 100 guests in your wedding, and there was a picture of 2 heterosexual men who apparently got married just so they could have a party, as the word on the street. Jim's planning his own funeral. Fuck's sake, Jim, don't say that.
We'll be there on Zoom, don't worry.
I've got a full set plan for it.
I had a pal took part in the Sonnet Youth open mic at Phillies and was really upset at Kev's welcome, which was something like, give them a big welcome or don't. I don't care.
Doesn't sound like you, Kev.
That does not sound like me at all. I'm very successful when I'm on stage, actually.
And Stephen Watt says that Sonnet Youth shows have picked up the rallying broad gauntlet both in terms of quality and for swollen crowds. Swollen crowds. Is animation film something that Sonnet Youth would entertain, similar to Noyoriki?
I think we're open to any collaboration, but I also think that we are quite different from Noyoriki, and I think it's good to see that they're sort of leading the way in that, and we'd maybe be leading the way in other things. So I see us as very kind of different entities, but I'm also just always of the school of thought of why not? So if someone approached us and wanted to collaborate on something, I think me and Kev would always find a way to make it work, because that's part of the fun of being, producers and hosts and poets in the kind of live events world.
What was the first Sonnet Youth like?
I don't remember. I was so pissed. Kev, do you remember
it? I remember. It was for a start, there was way too much poetry. Way too much poetry, and Darren Loki was the headliner, and he told everybody they were middle class because we were in a brewery. And it was funny. It was really good. I thought it was brilliant. But yeah, it was a bit of a wild night. It was a good one.
Yeah, the first sort of season of shows was just all a big blur, because at that point you're not really taking it seriously. It didn't feel like a job. We were both doing it for free. We were asking favours from mates. So, I mean, over the years we've got slightly more responsible as time's gone on. But at the beginning it was just like, how like much fun can we have? How much of a riot can we have? And yeah, and I think we sort of found the format as time went on as well. Like as Kev mentioned, we used to have more poets, whereas now we give equal kind of stage time to musicians and rappers and comedians, because we want it to be this night of kind of pick and mix stuff rather than just a poetry night. Because I think
Absolutely.
I mean, I love poetry, but I think it can get a bit much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done the only time that I've really booked poets were sort of sneaking them into another show, where, you know, maybe having a poet before a hip hop gig, or Jam Fest nights. You know, we did Jam Fest for about 10 years. That was like, you know, like just like you're talking about, a bit of poetry, a bit of comedy, a bit of music. And I think it's just good to break up everything. That goes for music as well. I think just having a bit of poetry in between the music is good. You know, you just don't want poetry, ideally in my world. But I say that. But tomorrow night, poetry. But there is a theme. But the beauty of this theme is that nobody knows what the theme is. They've not been told the theme. And there's a funny story about why it's called Nobody is a Poet in November. But nobody knows it's so you need to tune in to find out. That's all I'm saying. There will be a theme. That's what I'm saying.
Cool.
But you need to tune in. Also, look at this. How to write a poem. Obviously, it's not a Photoshop workshop I'm doing. It's a poetry workshop.
Good.
Because what you probably know more about workshop stuff than I do. But I've been asked to do a poetry workshop for a while, a writing workshop, and normally I write poems for Christmas, like commissioned to do poetry. So I just thought maybe to save me doing all of that, I'll just teach people how to write their own poems for Christmas. Is this a good idea or a bad idea, Kev?
It's 100% an awful idea. But I'm glad that you're going for it. I'm glad you're trying your best. You also seem to be taking, you know, money away from yourself there by teaching other people how to do it. You should be holding that information and not sharing it with anyone.
But the thing is that it's I spend a lot of time doing I spend too much time doing the poems. I genuinely don't have any more time. Like, there used to be time that before lockdown I did have time to do stuff. It used to be like, because the weekend would be all about gigs, and then Monday, Tuesday I could do a bit of writing, and then I would get back. I've less time than I used to. This takes a lot, believe it or not. So the idea was that if I do an hour or two, then it's just an hour or two. It's actually, rather than, because you know, you say to yourself that you're only going to spend a couple of hours on a poem, but you don't. That's just not the way it works. I suppose you're putting your name to it as well. You want it to be, it's the very best it can be. So as a result, there's you do work. Let's talk about the workshops. Tell me a bit about workshops. Tell me how to be Kevin Gilday, because that's what I'm basically doing. I'm stealing your ideas and doing my own workshops. But you've got a very successful workshop in Scribblers Union.
Yeah.
And how's that going? And what's
it's
happening?
Brilliant. Honestly, you're talking about, you know, things that saved your life during lockdown, and that was one for me. You know, I just I was like, I want to give something back to the community, and then I was like, I don't have any discernible skills to give to the community apart from the ability to write poetry. So I started up a Zoom writing workshop. 15 people signed up. I capped it at 15, and it turned out it was just 15 really sound, lovely people, and we've been meeting every Tuesday night since then, and putting on wee gigs online, and I've just been teaching them everything I know and about all the different art forms and all the different techniques and devices in poetry, and they're all amazing. They've just got better and better. And it got to the extent where I was like, loads of people were asking me about it, so I started it on a Monday night as well. So now Monday and Tuesday every week, a couple of hours every night, teaching people how to write poetry, performing with them, putting on wee gigs, and it's been amazing. It's been fantastic fun, and I've met so many lovely people through it as well. So it was one of those that just came out of the ether during lockdown, but I'm so happy that it did because, like I said, I've made loads of pals, and it's made me feel like I'm actually contributing something to the world. Do you know what I mean?
That's brilliant, and everybody. I watched one of them, and it was a really high level. As you, so are you kind of mentoring them for like 4 weeks, and then they go and do it live, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like 8-week blocks, so it's like 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks of lessons, and then on the 7th week, we do a performance. And then on the 8th week, it's a week off, and then we start again. So it's great. It's challenging me as well because I'm having to really go into the nitty-gritty of my writing and talk about certain forms and think about all the prompts and start taking apart big concepts that I'm like, all right, how do I actually write a workshop about postmodernism? Do you know what I mean? That's hard going, but it's made me think about everything, and I think it's made me a better writer as well, just because I've been living it and I've been thinking about it all the time. Just hearing poetry every night during the week and writing your own every night, you can't help but just get a bit better at it.
So there's more to it than just saying you get a pen and a bit of paper and then wait for the ghost and dribs and drabs to come and write it for you. Shit, my course is going to be a bit brief compared to yours, I think, but both are available.
Both are available.
Kat, what advice would you give to me doing a digital workshop?
Just don't tell them everything. Keep your cards close to your chest.
Don't tell them about the ghost.
No, I would just say be yourself, and you'll be able to offer something that like Kev can't offer, that I couldn't offer. So the same way that you're trying to teach everyone to sort of lean into their own individual writing voice and performing voice, you've got your own individual voice that you can use to explore. So I'd think about yourself as an artist and what you believe in, and then try and kind of empower them to create work that is meaningful to them. But I think you'd be a great teacher. I think you've got a nice, strong charisma and presence, and you're nice and confident. And also what you've been doing over the last wee while during lockdown, creating all these shows, is just like amazing. So I think you're coming from a really interesting angle, and obviously your music background as well. There's just so many facets of you as a performer and a writer that you can tap into. So I would say don't overthink it, be yourself, and don't tell them everything.
We want to train these people up to be good poets, but not too good, because
we don't want them overtaking.
We are in competition at the end of the day. There's so much demand for poetry. It's really interesting.
You want to be the Hulk Hogan of poetry. That's what you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Crawford Smith is asking, what's the best way to apply to take part in a sonnet? So that's a very good question, Kat. How do people get involved?
So the best thing to do is to contact us on either our email address or our Facebook. And if you've got any examples of filmed work, that is the best way to let us know that you're going to be a right fit. Sometimes people get in touch and they just have written poetry, and unfortunately we can't book them because we don't know what they would be like live. If they've never done a live gig before, it's maybe not the gig for them, but we'd be happy to give advice on other spaces and places that they can develop their work until they're ready. But just get in touch. It's always good to meet people at any point in their kind of poetry journey. So even if you are just starting out, it's always good to make the connection. Just get in touch, and if you've got any videos of your work, then we'd be happy to take a look.
It's a good point, that, because obviously you've got to sort of build up to something like Sonnet Youth. I think it's fair to say, because what you're doing is you're wanting to offer the viewer something that's a sort of finished article, really. I mean, obviously people are at different stages of their journey, but you're wanting people who are chipping in, patrons, they want to see something good. and there is obviously lots of other things to do. But yeah, I agree with that. Keep the quality up, because it could put people off poetry if someone brand new's coming in and just struggling for the first time. Tomorrow we've got a mixture of people tomorrow, because it's just we're just having a laugh because it's November and there's a funny story that goes with that. But that I can't tell you until you tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock. But there is a funny story. It's worth tuning in for. But also, like you said, the writing. Now this is common in poetry, but also in music as well. And I think that is, you just hit the nail on the head. It's the best advice to give to anyone who's like, what should I do? How do I get my name out there? Is get a video done. It doesn't need to be, ideally it would be good if you've got a video in front of a crowd. But there is no crowds right now. So just film yourself on your phone. Do your best to get a decent lighting on it. But to be honest, that doesn't really matter, because what we are looking for is just somebody who's got their own voice, or funny lines, or just delivery. But delivery's important. And it's a performance poetry at the end of the day, Kev, isn't it? It's performance.
Yeah, that's it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and this is the thing I teach in my workshops. It's like, anyone can write a good poem, I think. Do you know what I mean? But not everybody can perform a good poem. Not everyone has those skills. And those skills you build up through experience and through repetition. Do you know what I mean? So if you are new to it and you are kind of like just writing your first few poems, then don't get bogged down in it right away, because you've got loads of time to improve and you've got loads of time to practice and get better at it. And it takes a long time. It doesn't happen overnight. You need to be patient and you need to go with it. And that's part of the journey. That's how you get better.
And it's open, Sonnet, you finished the article. We do have nights where it's, over here in the West End's more like a finished article type night as well. But we do open mic nights. Tomorrow has got a little bit of that element to it, plus some experienced, amazing poets as well. And keep an eye on You Call That Radio, because we will be doing open mic nights. So we just sometimes have phone-ins where people phone up and give us a poem. And I think just by doing that, what I notice is by doing something the first time is that I'm quite self-critical. I feel like I could have did that better. But that's an amazing thing to do, because if you do something you don't think you did it quite as well, something changes. Instead of being scared, you're like, I need to prove myself. I'm better than that. I could do better than that. Would you agree, Kat?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you can always do better. And not you personally, Mark, just like just like anyone.
I'm trying my best.
You specifically could do better.
I feel like we can always push ourselves a little bit more. There's always a line we could have said better. There's always a piece of writing we could have maybe honed a bit more. And it develops and it gets better every time you perform it. Like I still make edits on work that I finished years ago. Stuff's always evolving for me. I can never really quite leave it alone. And it's not because I'm a perfectionist. It's not because
that is the definition of a perfectionist.
No, it's just because I know it can be better, and I like how pieces develop and how a line becomes like less relevant, and I like sort of changing it. And I think as artists, you need to be flexible and adapt. I mean, maybe revisiting your old work isn't the right thing, but I think like what Kev was saying, like the more you do it, like the less scary it becomes, the more confidence you build, you learn from the bad gigs, same as you learn like more than you learn from the ones that go well, and you think, yes, I nailed that. So it's just about tucking yourself into something that feels scary, but just building up that level of like, I don't know, it's almost like it's like an armor that builds up, and your persona as a performer develops as well. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. Kev, how important is it, going back to the video thing? Tell them they need to get a video.
You need to get a video, yeah. I mean, honestly, we can't see a performance from the written word. It's basically as simple as it is. And we want to be able to see that you can perform. And to be honest, with poetry, even if you are going to be a quote-unquote page poet, you still need to have some performance chops nowadays. I think the days are gone where people could be fucking boring bastards and stand in front of a lectern and read out of the poetry book really slowly. People don't want that anymore. Even if you're a page poet, you still need to have a wee bit of charisma, a wee bit of pizzazz. You still need to get up there and hold the audience with your performance. So there's no excuse for it anymore. But like I said, it's practice. That doesn't come overnight. That's skills that you kind of hone and evolve through experience. So the only way to get good at that is to do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
One video as well. One video. This is for musicians out there as well. Just one video. Spend a bit of time. Get one decent video, and then you don't need to spend any money or any time on a video ever again. Maybe even never ever again, because sometimes it's quite good just to have that one video that you keep on ramming down people's throats. It makes your numbers look really good, and it makes people excited for a second video. But just get that one video in. As a promoter, from the promoter side of things, if I know you're good but you don't have a video, I will probably still book you because I know that you're good. But it's hard for me to get other people excited as I am about your performance if I can't share a video. If I know you're good and you've got a video that's good, I can be sharing it all over social media and going, check out this person's good. Here's proof that they're good. And then people will tune in. But it's really hard to promote someone who doesn't exist. You know what I mean, Kat?
Yeah. Yeah, I think also videos are quite easy to film these days. Most people have smartphones. As you said, you just need to put a bit of light on yourself. There's loads of advice online about how to kind of self-tape. So yeah, I think it's easy to do, low cost, low tech. And you're right, it could be just like a calling card. We don't book anyone that we haven't either seen live or seen video evidence. And more and more, that's just like the landscape we're in now, isn't it? That you need to show that.
I'm not an expert in lighting. You should look at the early. Go and watch the episode where I spoke to Kat Hepburn or Kevin Gilday the first time. You should have seen the state of the camera, seen the light. But now look. Did you see that subtle change of light?
Beautiful.
I'm a professional now. It's easy. Just that. It's a ring light. It's £19.
Yeah. You could spend 100 and get yourself a little lapel mic that plugs into your iPhone, a ring light, less than 100, and it would look semi-professional.
You could do. There's things. They've got the internet. You've got the internet. Look up the internet, like how to make it. Just film yourself with your phone. That's it. Just get a video. And I'm talking to you, Kyle. Kyle, I know you're tuned in. I'm talking to you. You asked to get on the show. Just film yourself. Sorry.
You're Kyle.
No, but come on. Come on, Kyle. Well, it's no wonder, but he asked me if he could get on the show, and he messaged me via Insta. I didn't check my message on Insta, but I got him onto the show. I found him a slot. He's going to be on the show tomorrow. And then he says, can I just record an audio recording and send it to you and get me... Well, I think he was wanting me to read it out, and then he was saying, I could send the audio for you, and then I could just play it. So this would be happening. I'd be like doing that. Like my big face with my dodgy side pattern. As someone else recites poetry. Do you know what I mean? Come on, Kyle. Come on, mate. I'm trying my best here. Sorry. I made some poetry. Kevin, I understand that you've wrote some poetry in your time, and you may even have some poetry for this evening. Is it new? Can I use the exclusive banner?
Yeah, actually you can.
Oh, this is great.
Ooh.
Now we're talking. Okay, what's it about?
So this is one that I just wrote the other day. This is written on the occasion of the Scotland team qualifying for a tournament for the first time since I was 11. So yeah, this is exclusive. I just wrote this the other day, actually. I'm quite happy with it. It's just a wee short thing, but I was trying to just capture how I felt the next day. Apart from hungover, obviously, all the kind of emotions that were kicking about, and the weird. Is that weird, that thing where you're like, I felt this pride, but I had done fuck all. Do you know what I mean? I just watched some people play football on the telly. I didn't do anything, but I was proud of them maybe, and proud of, you know, the wait that had happened, and suddenly that this is kind of, this wait is over. So yeah, here we go. It's called Relearning Revelation. The thing about destiny is that it doesn't really exist. You have to will it into being, birth your vision within the world through sheer force of desire, a miracle of your own creation. We are all tethered to the past, like yappy wee dogs outside the shop. But only when we free ourselves can we begin to realise the high watermark of our fate. Sometimes it takes a group of young men, aloof to the paralysis of potential, to reimagine the future. It doesn't need to be shite, all this being Scottish. So insulated and comfortable cynicism, we forgot the thrill of adventure, the fundamental reflex of curiosity, all to be jolted awake with a new start, an invitation to be vulnerable from a generation unencumbered by our untouched baggage. To witness the ecstasy of youth, bet on itself so unequivocally, state with unfaltering voices that not only can we do it, but we definitely should, is a spiritual gift, rippling across the nation from a foreign penalty spot. A reminder that our inherited adversity of our uneven geography is not a burden to be absolved, but a legacy to be savoured. Cheers.
You call that radio?
Call that radio.
What back to the people who hated on me?
Right, and then I see the disinfectant that knocks it out in a minute.
That's mad, isn't it? Is this a Netflix thing?
It's actually a podcast.
What the fuck's a podcast?
You know, it's kind of like a radio show.
Call that radio.
Yeah.
And is there a way we can do something like that?
I couldn't help it.
By injection inside or
Yeah, I think so, because I think just paint in general, because I think like my poem is in my painting.
No, cut.
You call that radio? You call that radio TV? No. You call that radio TV?
This is You Call That Radio.
Mark, you muted yourself.
What a professional.
There's me talking about my professional with my professional light. Telling Kyle how to be a professional. And I've left myself on mute. Just goes to show what happens to the best.
Yeah.
What's everyone saying? Susie Briggs says, fantastic. Celtic says, that was good, Kev. Zap says, yo peeps, yo zap. Stephen Watt is... you can always rely on... You can always rely on people to let me know. Know what I mean? Lovely light and magic, see? Not all bad. I'm not all bad. That's you tell Kyle. Sorry, I wasn't sorry, Kyle. But hopefully you'll see Kyle tomorrow. I'm just trying to encourage him to make a video. Come on, Kyle. Hashtag come on, Kyle. Your side pattern's charming, thank you. I especially enjoy the laugh emojis. Alan Rorison says, brilliant poem.
Yeah.
And Alana saying, this is an incredibly useful discussion. Thanks, guys. And Susie also said, I miss open mic nights. Going digital is quite interesting and challenging. That's not a bad thing. Yeah, there's a good side to it surely as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
What's the positives? What's the positives of this year, Kat?
Not having to travel anywhere, like not having to rush between gigs or workshops or whatever. Saving money on a train fare. What else? You can get ready and then you can walk to the other room and that's you in the venue. That's kind of travel as well. I think just like not having to rush about has been personally quite helpful for me. Obviously, this is like an absolute shit show and I'm not taking away from all the kind of awful stuff, but personally, just not rushing about has been like a good thing for my mental health. And I think that's it. To be honest, like I don't think performing to a laptop is the same as an in real life gig, but it is what it is. And I think that another good thing actually is being able to connect with other creative people online, because I feel like the playing field's been kind of evened out a little bit. So yeah, I've made quite a lot of like Instagram and Twitter pals.
That's good. No more rushing about and more Insta pals. Kev, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same. It's just being able to connect with lots of people at the same time. It's like, it becomes borderless. You can just be like, right, do you want to book someone who's in America or in Germany or in Japan? Because all you need to do is tell them what time to be on it and they can join this gig. And that's really liberating, I think. That's quite exciting.
Mental, isn't it? It's
weird.
Yeah. Also, I forget. It's something I always forget about as well. And I end up booking everyone from Denniston or Shawlands and stuff. But, like, I'm trying my best. Like, next week, for example, I was like, right, okay, every single episode is going to be someone from America. And then I'm just going to try and do that. Or if not, someone from America, someone from far away, Edinburgh and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Falkirk.
Well, we had Alan Bissett on previously. So we have had a few international guests, that's for sure. But yeah, next week's going to be... Also, next week, all the guests are not only are they American, but they're not... I also ban myself from booking anyone from the music world or the poetry world. I just think that's what I kind of do all the time. Nah. Mm-hmm. These are really strange, not strange people.
What are they going to be doing?
Well, one is all about Lego, and the other one puts bow ties on llamas, and the other one is a dream reader. So he's I just want to change it up a wee bit. I just wanted to change. I'm sorry, yeah. Kat, do you have any questions about what I just said there?
No, I was just going to repeat it all, but I'll just let it like sink in with the audience. Like, I mean, we thought we were like eclectic, cool promoters that booked like weird and wacky stuff, but you've just like
Lego bow-tied llamas and dream writers. I don't know what you call them actually. What he does is he writes books about dreams. So it's quite interesting, and synchronicity. And what I found quite synchronistic about it all is that we were having this chat on Tuesday with Yaz Real about synchronicity and dreams and what they all mean and stuff like that. And then I got a message out the blue from a guy saying that he wrote a book on it. So I don't know if he's a con man. He might be a con man. I might have to put up a sign at the start saying maybe don't like join his cult or necessarily buy his book. Sorry if you're watching this guy, man. I'm sorry, I'm not. I just, you get the warning sign and you're like, right, okay. He seems to know it all, which always makes me a bit suspicious of people. Mm-hmm. But I love the idea of, people... because dreams are dead interesting. I've had lots of weird dreams that have either came true or they've inspired a song or stuff like that. So I'm really interested in it all. And I remember my mom used to have a book about, what the dreams mean. And I just thought it was an actual. When I was younger, I just thought it was like a science, as if like that's what that means. You have a dream about losing your teeth. It means you're going to come into money. I thought this was scientific fact, and then I found out, there's people that would discuss these ideas and maybe disagree, and there's people who would say it's a lot of shite as well. Kev, have you ever had a dream come true?
I
don't mean that in an Xbox kind of way, an X Factor kind of way. It was always a dream of mine to do a poem at Drygate, and then it came true. Or Edinburgh Fringe. I mean, I was talking specifically about dreams, so like,
dreams. No, my dreams are really weird, and I don't really remember them unless I wake up for 5 minutes and then I go to sleep again. Then I'll remember them. But if I just sleep right through, I don't remember any dreams. But they're always quite weird and quite upsetting a lot of the time. I don't know if there's anything to be gleaned from them apart from obvious mental issues. But that's fine. I'm aware of that already. So I don't think there can't be one explanation for certain kinds of dreams. Do you know what I mean? It's that's your subconscious. You should be seeing a psychiatrist, know somebody that's written a book.
Well, let's hear the guy out. The guy might have a point. We'll find out. That's I think Wednesday next week. There's more information to come. Like I said, he might actually know stuff. Kat, dreams. Have you ever had a dream that you've been able to turn into a poem or anything like that? Or do you remember your dreams?
I do remember my dreams, and they are not dreams, they are nightmares, and I have them every night.
Wow.
I have like maybe 1 or 2 nice dreams a week, but mostly it's like not nice stuff that I think about when I'm more subconscious. But I had a nice dream about Kev the other night.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice, because see, I thought this would have been like a nice thing to talk about, and apparently it's not. I've ruined it. So, but yeah, well, maybe you should watch the show. Maybe this guy will be able to tell you how to change those dreams.
Yeah.
Bow ties on llamas sounds absolutely fucking brilliant. Okay, yeah. Well, I think it's all happening. I think I can confirm it tomorrow. Yas Lego, wow. A guy in Cowan kidding on he's in America. could be.
I'll be down with a wig on and a moustache.
Speak of the devil, Alan Bissett's in the house.
Yes.
Hey.
Shout out to Falkirk.
And just been transported back to the game. Brilliant poem.
Oh.
No rushing a rune is quite nice. Celtic says we should keep this element of live streaming. We're back in live spaces. Let's folk who can't get along watch too can still sell tickets. See, this is the thing, the reason that we never really, I'd thought of doing live streaming gigs before, but I think the big concern is that either it would make your gig look shit because it's hard to capture that live environment, and more importantly, the worrying thing is that it's hard enough to get people to get off their arse and come out to a gig. Getting people excited to come out to a show is one of the challenges that you're up against. So if you just give someone the option, especially in a Dreich night in Scotland, like, you can just sit in the house and watch this for free. But I think now that people are hopefully going to not take these nights for granted, these Sonnet youth nights and various other amazing nights that happen, and maybe people are going to make sure that they don't sit in and watch X Factor ever again, and they'll be out enjoying all these nights. So as a result, we will be able to live stream it for people who maybe for financial reasons, medical reasons, or geographical reasons can't make the show. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, definitely. Like we've kind of spoken about it before, and we do feel like even if things went back to normal tomorrow, I think we'd still keep an element of the digital stuff going, because you are connecting with a whole new audience. And you're right, there's people who, don't live in the places where we do gigs, fair enough. But there's also people who don't have the accessibility to be able to get to certain venues or go to one of our shows. And we don't want people to miss out on it. We want it to be for everybody. Do you know what I mean? So it's about kind of opening it up and using the digital stuff for the good of your audience, and making it accessible for as many folk as possible. and share all that great art. Do you know what I mean?
And I suppose there is, I think everybody's either had to splash out on a webcam, a ring light, stuff like that. So you might as well, and we've all had to learn new software, new skills, new apps and stuff like that. So it makes sense to keep it going. I suppose one of the other advantages is as well is that if if someone had tried to have a meeting, a digital meeting like before March, I'd be like, no, can I just, meet at a pub or something? But now I suppose you're still going to need those face-to-face interactions. But sometimes you literally just need to chat to someone for 10, 20 minutes. So, less of that stupid travelling, as you were talking about earlier on, Kat, that rushing about. And it does seem like there's been a lot of needless rushing about that we've all been doing. So we're going to continue to embrace digital, you think?
I think so, yeah. And, well, I mean, we've got, first of all, we've got no choice. Second of all, we've now, people are beginning to realise or have realised that, like, what initially was a meeting is now a quick Zoom call or a phone call. Like, as a freelancer, I felt like I was rushing about and going to like different places, and it was like, an hour out of someone's day, but it's in their sort of vicinity, it's fine. But it's like 3 hours out of your day because you're traveling like to and fro. So I feel like people have they've just realized that it doesn't need to be a meeting, it can be a phone call or a Zoom call. Yeah, so that's something that I'm like, good. People have started to realise that.
I suppose there's just lots of companies as well that the only reason they didn't let people work from home is because they wanted to look over their shoulder and make sure they were working. And now they've been forced to make people work from home, and people are getting some great results, probably because people are just sleeping in and doing their work when they want. But the point is you're paying someone to do a job and they're doing the job. So I like that idea as well. Why should you actually have to start at bang on 9 o'clock in the morning? You've got a project to do, you finish it, you do good work by your deadline. Does it matter what time of day you're doing it, Kev?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. You can do what you want. This is just the remnants of capitalism. Do you know what I mean? This is just the last vestiges of these big businesses trying to wring every minute, every hour out of your tortured soul, and you should be just refusing at this point because there's no need for it anymore. It's been proven. We can see the results, and this is the actual test. The minute COVID happened and the minute everybody went and started working from home, what happened? Fuck all. Everybody was still doing their jobs. They just didn't have to spend 2 hours a day on some awful commute where they were like, trapped in a train with a load of other people. There's no need for it.
Especially the 9 a.m. crew, man. Shout outs to the 9 a.m. crew. My heart goes out to you because I've had those 9 a.m. 5 job. You've got the half 8 train or the 8 o'clock train if you're even further out the city. Wow. What a terrible start to the day. How's that productive in any way? That's not productive.
No.
Someone's saying that they've had a dream about... Hold on. That's a strange dream. I was wondering... Bill Morrison, I dreamt I cooked my own sock. There's not enough yoga to make that happen. Right. Bill, I'll ask our dream expert next week what that means. I spat it out. It tasted like fairy cakes. Do you mind what flavour it was? Aye, fairy cake. Really nice. That must mean something. So, right, please tune in. I think it's next Wednesday. And I'll announce that. I'm going to confirm next week's all by tomorrow, so the dates and stuff. But, yeah, and it's either the dream guy next Wednesday or it's the bow tie and the llama person. We'll get... is Zoom increasing the workload, though? Time spent travelling to and from meetings will now be time you're expected to be productive. I don't think so, though. In my experience of working in real jobs or freelancing is that they don't include the travel. Like you're saying, Kat, you could maybe be going to do an hour workshop and you've got to travel an hour there and an hour back, and people think you're maybe thinking that your hourly rate's a bit excessive, and it's like, well, no, because I've got to do a lot of prep work for this.
Yeah.
There's hours of prep involved and there's hours of travelling involved.
Yeah, like last week I was doing workshops in like Paisley, I can't even remember where else. Oh, Paisley, Falkirk, I did a thing for a school in Aberdeen. It's like that would take up my entire day doing a 1 hour workshop in Aberdeen, whereas now it's like a couple of hours. It's like really transformed how much time I have. And yeah, and I don't know about your commute time. People would be expecting you to do work. I can't speak for any other like career or job. And it's, yeah, I know it must be challenging for lots of people, like, especially I was being like, oh, it's so easy to work from home if you've got like Wayne's running about or like other factors coming into your home life. Then, it's not, it can't be easy.
Four Waynes doing a call centre job from home.
Yeah, like,
and that's the worst of both worlds, because that means you're actually, you've got family life and a job. That sounds terrible. Yeah, we're talking about our specific things.
Yeah, so I can't even remember what question you asked me, and I started talking about that.
You answered it perfectly. It was a perfect answer. Petra, Mark, when's the dawning of the age of the Aquarius show? Right, okay, now that show may have been cancelled because the captain who demanded that, well, he didn't demand it. We discussed, Captain, if you're watching just now, I don't know whether I should apologise actually, because the captain started a fight during my Halloween stream. I was busy trying to run a gig, live stream gig, of course, with no audience, just a virtual audience. But I was running a gig, running about, and I just see him arguing with all the Root System fans. And you know the kind of you don't want to be starting a fight with Root System fans, try to slag Root System off. So I ejected the captain from the chat and said he's been ejected for shite patter. The captain. Then all of a sudden we got a magical dislike on the YouTube video, and we're now getting 1 dislike a day.
Oh, you're getting trolled. You're getting trolled.
Yeah, I'm getting trolled. Captain, I'm still up for doing the Age of Aquarius show, which we're supposed to be doing on December the 12th, because I think that's when spooky shit happens, the 12th of the 12th, 2020. So I'm still up for doing it. Petra and there's other people going to do it. We're going to do a whole show about the Age of Aquarius, and the Captain, you're invited back. I think you should apologise to me rather than me apologise to you. I did ban you because, well, he started it. You know what I mean? But I've got over it and I'll forgive you. So don't worry about it. I had a dream with Kevin Gilday, and it says, Jim, I had a dream.
Me and Jim are the same person. This is like...
I wonder if it was the same dream.
It could have been. No, see, that I sometimes think that. Like, you have a dream and maybe the other person also had that dream at the same time. You wouldn't know because most people can't remember the dreams. Nah, dreams are just your brain working through things. All right, Celtic, if you just confirmed that. All right, okay, cheers, man.
Right, I thought they were real. God.
Lucid dreaming could be pretty cool, though. Well, I've actually got an interesting lucid dream story, but you need to hear that about next Wednesday. And Alana saying I wouldn't be able to go to most things, so this has been great to me. Obviously, I understand COVID is a nightmare, but getting out is a nightmare. I think there's definitely lots of people that it's been good for. Lots of people I think the fear of missing out, especially if you've got someone going through mental health problems or social anxiety disorders, and you're just seeing all this good stuff happening that you can't go to. So I think that it's been a great leveler for a lot of people, which is great. I just want to hear people, any positive is good, and I think Celtic saying, yeah, for folk are too far away or disabled or something, can't get to a gig, it'd be cool to include them. I totally agree with that, and I think that Glasgow especially isn't an ideal place for there's so many accessibility issues when we put on gigs, and there's some of our friends and fans can't go to certain gigs, and I'm trying to be more aware of that as well, and hopefully the venues will get more aware of that as well. And Kat, have you got a poem for us? I see your tweet said something about will it give you PTSD from the Fringe or something?
Yeah, because so what happened was after my Fringe show, I stopped doing content from it because I was just sick of it. And then there was a few poems that sort of rose to the surface that I just kept doing for a while, and I just sort of forgot about the rest of them. Mostly because they were a bit inappropriate, but I just thought tonight I would do one about grooming, because I feel like I can get away with it on your on this show.
Batter in.
Okay, so it's called Burn. I don't mean to brag, but I'm pretty mature for my age. 15 and a half, but I could pass for 18 with enough shiny eyeshadow from International on. My uniform is my school skirt rolled up 3 times. The hemline grazes my upper thigh. I see the quiet guys blushing and averting their eyes. I'm not going to lie. The attention feels powerful. It's currency. The boys at school shout like primates on heat. I like smiling and looking away as if to say, just you wait and see. Lunch is skipped Monday to Friday. It keeps me slim and most of my pennies are put away for the weekends. Rainy days up the skate park, sharing carryouts. The skater boys' fingers turn blue as they pass round a Fanta can pipe and talk shite. I put on lip gloss, hair blonde from a home dye. Now the braces are off. This ugly duckling is now a motherfucking swan. He is kind-faced with piercing blue eyes, diamond laser beams through horn-rimmed glasses. He wears Vans trainers and has a throaty laugh. His hands are rough and bumpy from playing guitar. He is dreamy, lush. Every fourth-year girl has a major crush. Some even say that they're in love. The lassies in my class share outlandish fantasies. Hearts flutter, mascara heavy eyelashes flash in his direction, and he silently bats them away. Notes feverishly pass between daft birds, and he ignores all of their advances, turns his back to us with a wry smile. He is our music teacher after all. It began with a song. During class one day, he bowled us over by playing a hit from Snow Patrol. He caught my eye, saw me noticing. He knows I'm not like them, the loud ones, gobby and sloppy and cheeky. No, he can tell that I'm quiet because I'm thinking lots. After class, alone, he suggested that I check out his band playing at the lounge that Friday night. Why don't you come along? Meet me for a drink. I'll put your name on the guest list. It's best not tell your pals. I won't. I couldn't expect any of them to keep a secret, so I keep things close to my chest. That night, getting ready, my heart is going tonto in my chest. It makes me almost sick. Now, I told my parents I'm staying at Tracy's house. Her mum is always out. I wore my favourite jeans and a new top from Topshop. At the gig, he made me feel pure special. He bought me orange wickeds, winked as he sang a song. I felt like it was just for me. I tried to act like I'd been in a club loads of times before. My feet were wriggling in my shoes and they were sticking to the floor. Later, I felt the prickle of his moustache as his lips pressed mine, and he squeezed his arms around my waist and told me he was having a really good time. After that weekend, I was walking on air. I had a happy secret inside of me, hidden texts on my flip phone, borrowed moments after class in the music hall, fibbing to my parents when I get home, stolen glances at school dances, secret trysts, forbidden romance. He told me that he's falling in love with me. But see, nobody would understand. Our love was illegal, against the rules, banned. But despite my silence, a rumour began to spread around the school the way a smouldering cigarette butt chucked in a bin can turn from nothing into flames. He was the adult, yet I got the blame. Shh, there she is. Isn't that the fourth year that's shagging the teacher? I wanted to scream. We didn't go further than a kiss. Burn. Fingers pointed, parents phoned, deny, 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 burn. Scarlet letter burning, shame through my school shirt. I read stomach-churning graffiti about myself, my worst fears etched out in careless pencil and felt tips in the girls' bogs. Slut, dirty, whore, spreads like flora, skank, homewrecker, tramp. I dropped out of music after that. And that is why I'm not invited back to my high school to do readings.
Strange mood of our time.
You call that radio?
Makes coherent sense.
You call that radio. More like a TV show. On almost every night. It's gonna be streaming live. You call that radio. More like a TV show. On almost every night. She gives sexy more meaning without even trying. She's breathing, and all I am.
You've muted yourself again.
Sorry about that. Probably breached some copyright there as well. Amazing cat, amazing stuff. We've got Alan says brilliant cat. Petra says holy smoke, that was superb.
Thanks, guys.
And Susie says that resonates. Thanks, cat. And like the latest jingle, Mark. There was 2 jingles there. One's Colin Simon, Gordon Duncan Jr., and the other one was Amelia with an update. And Alana saying, goodness me, that poem was great. Really loved the references to International and skate parks. And could have happened to any of us mature for age girls. Loved it. And Kat, so that was part of the old show?
Girlhood, yeah.
So it's part of the old show. So tell us a little bit about the new show and what's happening with that.
So there is no new show. There's a new book that I've just finished writing.
That's the book, yeah.
Yeah. So at the moment, it's not going to be a show, but it's about double the size, if not a little bit bigger than double, of Girlhood. So it's a chunkier text, and it's got some short stories in there as well, which I'm really chuffed about. So yeah, it's just like an exploration of like modern dating life. A lot of the stuff that I did before Girlhood was about like internet dating and just being like a girl in her 20s, just making loads of mistakes. So it's kind of like putting all that in a book. It's all fiction, and none of it is based on anything I've ever got up to.
And when have you got a date in mind for when that'll be ready?
Yes, it's going to come out in April 2021 with Burning Eye Books. And yeah, the front cover's been designed by an amazing artist in Berlin, and it's like cartoony, and yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's just like, it's a mixture of stuff that I wrote before Girlhood and stuff after. So it's just nice to like, have something else coming out and not be kind of going over the same stuff over and over. It's been really fun to write.
Brilliant stuff. And Kev, what about you? Have you got anything on the horizon?
Just some more Glasgow Cross stuff. I think the new single's going to be coming out next month or maybe the month after. I don't know. But there's a new single and a new EP coming out. So I'll let you know when that's on the way. But apart from that, I've just been writing a lot of poems and just working away. Yeah, it's good.
I'm going to read. I think we've got a Glasgow Cross song to finish on. We're just going to get some comments just before we go. Great to see Kevin and Kat on the show. Love Sonnet Youth. Can't wait till it's back live. And it will be back live. I mean, you say that, I noticed that you're saying that you're moving to a digital platform, but is that just a temporary thing, or are you going to do both, or what's the? Do you know?
Yeah.
Does anyone know what's happening?
As soon as we are safely allowed back in a venue to put on a show, we will be doing that. As soon as we can get people in and it's all good, but we will not be rushing it. Do you know what I mean? We want to make sure it's good and it's safe and it's open for everybody. Don't want some weird, that only 10 people are allowed in the room kind of a thing, because there's no point.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt. I'm changing my mind slowly in that though. Like, give me 10 people in a room. That's where I'm at now. It's weird how our standards change as time goes on though. It's like everyone was really excited about the fact that, it could be back to normal by next winter, when it was just a few months ago we're still clinging on to festival season. Mm-hmm. And it's like every week was like weird. Oh, another week of lockdown, no. And it was just like, only another year. That's good. That's good, isn't it? Do you hear the news? Only another year of this pish. Colette says YCT radio calendar said to Robin Teapot Man to date Tay. I think are you asking Robin to come on the show? He's already said aye. He's going to be on the show. I think that's what you mean. The good news is, if that's what you're saying, Robin is actually on the show on Wednesday with we're going to talk about his stuff. He's an amazing record producer. He's done some hits. He's done all the hits for Manic Street Preachers, for Dodgy, the famous the debut album for The View as well, and the Twistettes last album. Great guy. Looking forward to speaking to him. Sounds fab. Good luck with your book, Kat, says Susie. And there was Susie's wanted to know. So I'm still curious about your dream. Did you Did you go to bed hungry? Don't worry about. We're going to get to the bottom of that dream. So you cooked your socks and it tasted like fairy cakes with no icing. I'll need to remember that one for the. Maybe Cat needs a dream catcher to catch the bad dreams. We learned that on your show. We did learn that, Petra. We learn a lot in this show because I'd made the mistake. The dream catchers I thought were about catching your good dreams so they would come true, or capturing, I don't know. But apparently it's to catch the bad dreams going into your head rather than catch the good ones coming out your head.
Yeah, because they come in through the window.
They come in through the window. Well, according to... I got an exclusive listen to Texture's Bram's new podcast, which is out in December, and they had an interesting discussion about how the consciousness is not from your brain, it's from outside. Our brain is part of the consciousness, or something like that, but obviously you need to listen to Texture to hear what that's actually about. Something like that. So, holy smoke, no, we've heard that. A dream bream, love your neighbour, love baby doll. A dream bream. Dream. Is it? What's a bream?
Bream. Is it not what goes in the tins of fish? No. Oh, that's bream. No, sea bream. Sea bream is a type of fish. Sea bream.
Bream? I don't know.
It's a type of fish.
It's a type of fish. A bream is a type of fish. A dream fish. I don't know, Colette. I don't know. We're going to end it with a Kevin P. Gilday and the Glasgow Cross track. Well, actually, first of all, how can people get involved in the Sonnet Youth Cat, and then Kev can tell us about the song we're ending on.
So you can get involved as a fan or a viewer by checking out our Patreon. So that's patreon.com/Sonnet Youth. You can sign up to our monthly shows. You get 2 a month for a £5 plus VAT. It's an absolute steal. And just follow us across all social media at Sonnet Youth or at Sonnet Youth Poetry, depending on what you're on. But yeah, just check us out and keep in touch and follow us and all that jazz. Thanks for listening.
And go and support the Sonnet Youth Patreon. And while you're here, support the You Call That Radio Patreon as well. Do two for the price of 2. Kev, we're going to end. I've got a tune here lined up. It's called A Sensitive Man. What is the Glasgow Cross and what is the Sensitive Man tune all about?
So this is my music project in collaboration with a fantastic musician called Ralph Hector. So he's been creating music to put to my poems, and then we just kind of got together and started writing songs together, like a kind of traditional band. So this is one of the lead singles from our second album, which is Pure Concrete. It's out just now on Iffy Folk Records. You can get it on CD and vinyl. It's up on Spotify if you're a cunt and want to just stream it for nothing. So yeah, you can go and check it out there, and we'd love it if you checked out and had that wee listen to it.
poetry. This body is a vessel, unfortunately it's the Mary Celeste. Backly I'm a functioning depressive, hashtag blessed. My strength didn't desert me, it just never arrived. Musical chairs and hospital waiting rooms, hope and sleep deprived. Came out the other end still breathing, so I suppose I should be grateful. But living that life of happiness in this world just seems distasteful. I'm a sensitive man, I'm a sensitive man, I'm a sensitive man. What's to do? I'm a sensitive man, I absorb, never deflect. My walls papier-mâché, my motor unkempt. Feel every emotion acutely with no choice in the matter. Chronically unhealthy like half a pizza and butter. Ignore 1,000 compliments, take one criticism to heart. If I've learned one lesson in this life, it's things fall apart. Open like a border, words wound me daily. If there's a reason for this malady, could someone please avail me? I'm a sensitive man, I'm a sensitive man, I'm a sensitive man. What's to do? Brothers and sisters, may the peace that can only come from the one God be upon you. We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us as people of conscience to lose our morale.
Powered by our patrons. Brilliant stuff from Kevin P. Gilday and the Glasgow Cross. Thank you to Kevin and Kat. Go and support the Sonnet Youth Patreon, and they've got some amazing shows lined up. Tomorrow night, we're back with poetry, with a theme that I can't tell you yet, but it's an amazing theme. Totally worth tuning in at 7 o'clock to find out what it's all about. I'll let Aldo do it. He tells it a lot better than me. Aldo, the wee mad poet. It's a funny story. Tune in tomorrow for that. On Wednesday night, we have the legendary music producer, Robin Wynne Evans. Worked with the Manic Street Preachers, The View, Dodgy. He's got a million stories. Finally getting him on the show. And try to get him on since the start, so I'm really chuffed that he's finally got the internet capable of doing a show. And Thursday night, this is my favourite band I've heard all year long. They're from Donegal, Irish Celtic folk blues with a punk attitude. I'm absolutely buzzing that they've agreed to do the show. Shouts to Francis for introducing me to them. Absolutely loving it. Check out their music videos online. It's also for you, if you're into your poetry, it's a kind of poetry hybrid in there as well. Some nice spoken word bits in as well. And Friday night, Gyro Babies Unplugged, live from Capture Works. Saturday, oh, that's me. No, that's not. Joe Jive and the Beehive 5, live from Brooklyn on Saturday night. So check that out. A wee dance on Saturday. And How to Write a Poem by Mark McGee, not the Photoshop. But if you want to get involved in that, then get involved soon, because I think we're going to start it this week or next week. More information about that tomorrow. More information about the Dreamcatcher guy, the tying bows on llamas and why you would do that coming up. Great show as always. Says, thank you, Bill. Hi guys, thanks for listening. Really interested in hearing your tips and advice and your performances. Thank you, Facebook user. Digging the tune, says Crawford, and thanks for the poetry, Cat and Kevin. Great record. Fixture in my car stereo just now, says Stephen Watt. Bra Kev, says Susie. Yes, Kevin, that's brilliant. Reminds me of Industrial Disease by Dire Straits. I like it a lot, Kev, says Andrew Westcott. And then Bill's talking about cooking your sock in Aberdonian. We're not going to go into that. We're just going to end it on a nice note. A lovely song from Kevin. And yeah, if you're poetry people, tune in tomorrow for this. And thanks to everyone who's tuned in tonight. Thank you to Kev. Thank you to Kat from Sonnet Youth. We'll see you tomorrow night and every night this week at 7 p.m. I should call that radio. We're building a thing.
Brothers and sisters. Is that you, Daniel? Are you before me?
Call that radio.
You call that radio.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, yes, this is Dog.
Oh my God!